All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. I had to mute my audio really quick because I thought I was going to go through when the stream popped up went live actually. But it's good. I stopped it before it was too late.
That would have been a disaster if there was some echo coming through at the beginning of the stream. What are you talking about? We always have audio correct at the start of the stream.
I know.
So I was just now, as you could hear faintly in the background. Last time my Switch was on a day or two ago. I was in the middle of a level in Kirby, and I'm like, oh, I need to finish that before I put in another game. So,
but you did it, right? Because I saw some people in the chat saying, oh, "Is that Kirby that I hear in the background?" And it was.
It was. I am in the egg engines.
Oh,
so you know that I am in the second to last world because the first letter of each world spells crowned.
What?
That's been a thing. Starting with Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Mm-hmm.
The first letter of every world in every game, every main line game anyway, spells out like a word.
Right. Well, I knew that, but so this first one is crowned. I mean, does it make any? It's what?
It's crowned.
Crowned.
Yes.
Okay.
Which has to do with the crown that Magalore is trying to get.
I see. Okay.
The final boss theme is called Crowned.
I see. I don't recall almost anything about the story. I just know that there's a plot twist.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. I think Triple Deluxe spells flower. Robobot. I don't remember off the top of my head. And Forgotten Land is Discovery, I think.
Okay.
Which is, I think that's what it is, because that's the title of the game in Japan, is Kirby Discovery.
Oh, that's cool. I like that name.
Yeah. So
that's cool. Let's finish with it. I mean, do you think it deserves to be a full price game? Go with a hard question first.
I mean, I haven't really unlocked much of the extra content yet. I mean, there's a bunch of new mini games and stuff, but
yeah,
I have to imagine it was less work than remastering Metroid Prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would assume so. Yeah, but I mean, it runs like the old, the actual game, not like the new stuff. Runs it almost looks like it runs faster than 60.
Are you sure you don't have motion interpolation on your TV?
No, I don't. But I mean, doesn't it almost looks smoother? But no,
I don't know. That never crossed my mind. But I mean, I'm glad. I mean, it would have been a massive mistake because the original version on Wii was 60 frames per second. So it's I'm good to see that they can still get a grasp on 60 frames per second 2D Kirby.
Yeah,
because even before Star Allies ended up being 30 frames per second, I was like, man, I hope they finally do a 3D Kirby for the next game if they're not going to be doing 60 frames per second on Switch. Because they were doing 30 frames per second on Wii and 3DS. But I was like, but a 3D game at 30 frames per second would be fine. 2D, really, the 30 frames per second really dragged Star Allies down.
Oh yeah, I mean it.
But for Forgotten Land, it was fine.
It wasn't even that great, anyways.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard for me to really even figure out how much more would I have liked it? Like, would have really elevated it that much more? It still probably would have been the least good of the, the Returns to Dreamland onward games. It probably still would have been the least good one. The final battle is really cool though.
Yeah, but I mean everything up to that, it's pretty short.
It's
just
short,
like in general.
and yeah, it doesn't do a lot of anything too inventive. It was just like, it was almost like they were just like, okay, we finally made, Kirby, Kirby platformer in HD. Like that's about all we had the time to do. So they didn't design any more game around it, I guess. But yeah, like, I mean, I think I said before that I feel like, I think they could have reversed the prices on this and Metroid Prime, and I think Metroid Prime would have sold the same amount.
Yes.
And this would have sold less. Or
I mean,
excuse me, this would have sold more at $40 than $60.
Yes.
Although I would venture a guess that more people have probably played Metroid Prime than this. I mean, so on the one hand, this is new to more people, but also there's more people that love Metroid Prime, so they'd like to go back to it. But regardless, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, I think, is one of the top 3 Wii games. So
yeah,
it was very much worth getting remade. But I'm going to, is this the right scene? Yes, it is.
So you didn't play any of this, right? You didn't even. This is your first. Oh.
Play any of well, yeah, I've still got Kirby on here, so
oh,
but yeah, it should have just saved, so let's close this.
All right,
and I'll pop in a short hike. You were encouraging me
I mean,
to play this because you played it recently.
Yeah, I was just looking for something to play in the living room one day. And I was like, I'm just going to put this in because I know that it's not supposed to be that long. It's just like a nice little game. And
looks like it's cutting in and out. Hang on, I was telling you something about how.
Oh yeah.
There's been some funkiness here, and it may have been because I turned on my TV after I turned everything else on. So I found that there has to be a very particular order to turning things on with the AV receiver, the new AV receiver I bought last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Only when streaming.
I didn't go for it.
So let's hope that holds.
It looks like it's still.
I assume this does not have like a patch or anything.
It shouldn't.
So all I know about this is it's short and it has like PS1 looking graphics.
Yeah, I recommend like making like you can choose like the style a little bit, like just like how pixelated it's gonna look.
Yeah,
I thought it looked pretty good if I just like made it look as unpixelated as it was an option. That's how I played it.
So can it be completely unpixelated or?
No, I mean it's hard to explain. It's like a different style than I've really seen. But I liked it. It's just like a really nice game and you have an objective, right? But
I like this font. It's very easy to
read.
Ooh, I like how the default on all of the volumes is 11.
Goes to 11, yeah. But you walk around and you just people like say, hey, bring me this much stuff, and you just kind of keep all this stuff in the back of your mind. And it's just
those button mappings seem a little like they should be rotated.
Oh, it's
one
fine.
to the right.
Yeah.
Counterclockwise 1/4. But whatever, I can deal with this.
Yeah. You're not like going in and out of menus or anything very much. Although you can. I mean, like there's probably a lot of stuff
and crunchy.
in this.
Here, I'm gonna have to get up at the TV to
Yeah, I did tiny and sharp.
what I like.
It's hard to notice it right here, but when you start the game, you'll see it. How's everybody doing in the chat?
Once I'm in the game?
Yeah. Yeah, once you get in the game, you'll be able to see
Okay.
more. I mean, this is not a very good representation of it.
Like, something about this font just feels real comfy to me.
Enter the Arcade said that they love this game. Played through it twice last year.
Nice.
Did you get everything? I wonder how much stuff there actually is to do in it. I mean, you can beat it in like an hour, but I think there's enough to probably make it like 3 or 4 hours probably. There's $10 from Mega X6. Thank you. Saying I finally completed Phantasy Star 4 for the first time. Played the first one right after Happy Console Gamer and your New Year's special. Decided to play 2 to 4 last January and completed 4 tonight. Great series. Yeah, and I mean the thing I like about 4 is that it basically brings it to a pretty definitive end. And I think I said that in a video. Whoa. I said that in a video, or I said this at one point. Maybe I said it in the video where it felt like a really kind of a ballsy thing to do. To like, hey, we're gonna like end this.
And what?
Yeah.
What we talking about? Oh, Fantasy
came
Star.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
But they've never continued that main series, and I think that's really kind of cool. Like a lot of people say, I wish that they would make a Phantasy Star 5. And while I would be curious to see how that turned out, like I don't know if it would be worth it at all.
But you would 100% play it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But I'm not sure if it would be worth it. Mm-hmm. Like worth, picking it up and like picking up the story and like starting it, having a sequel, I guess.
I think I might like Small and Tasty.
Oh, did you even try like the Tiny and Sharp?
I did. I mean, that's why I had on from the title screen.
I see. There's Zane's dad's been a member for 25 months.
Whoa.
Saying sitting on the couch is the best way to have a short hike, in my opinion. Yeah. I was sitting on, actually it's more of a love seat that I was sitting on. But like I just decided to play this in the Switch because I have my old my launch Switch in the living room.
So you were playing on the TV?
Yes, I played it on like our.
Because I was curious if maybe you liked the small size for playing on the screen itself. But I think because it doesn't look like completely pin sharp, it's still a little pixely looking. So I almost feel like going just one higher to kind of retain something of a pixel look.
Okay.
Works. This font like makes me think of like Game Boy Advance for some reason.
So Enter the Arcade said, I did about 75% of all the stuff on my first playthrough, though. It took about 3 hours, 100%. On my second playthrough, about 4 hours or so. Mm. So, I mean, that's great. That's great. I mean, I did not look up anything. I just decided to see what I found. So I see that James Boone says, I replayed this on the RG35XX over the last month. Love those new retro emulation devices. Also bought a Retrode Pocket 3 Plus. So I actually have a video on like Anbernic stuff. I mean, just like 2. It's going to be like the 353 M and one of the 35XX.
No 343.
Right. It's going to be like, it should be out. It's going to be out this week. And it's going to be, I'm going to title it like it's going to have the intro graphic of a mini episode, because it's just me. I set up,
Oh, look, it's Animal Crossing fish.
and I'm going to be talking to this camera. Like I have my prompter like on this camera. Like I'm going to try to just start doing like every like more mini episodes where I just like, so I have it so I can just like pull out stuff, and it's going to be scripted for the first 8 minutes, and then it's going to be very much like the back portion of the Analog Pocket episode where I'm just like trying a bunch of different stuff, and we're going to see how it works. And if I don't know,
that format worked really well.
Then, yeah. If I'll try to figure out certain things that I don't understand, or it's like, oh, well, how do I achieve this? And then, like I kind of script that, and then I like will read it and just, I record it and then I edit it. So I'm going to try to do, if this works out and people don't like absolutely like hate it, I could definitely see myself doing a whole bunch of this stuff for like a lot of stuff that we wouldn't normally cover. Because, like, let's be honest, I think that right now, like, us literally covering anything is what people want, as opposed to nothing that we have done, like, so far this year. So I think that if I can do that, then I'll be, like, I feel like I can do that pretty regularly. In addition to, like, the bigger episodes, the more not just, like, fully produced, but more, like our typical like me facing this way, because usually I'm facing this way, but this will be me talking just like this. So it's going to be like kind of a conglomeration of like scripted, but like also I guess like the best way to describe it is like there's gonna be certain uncertainties. It's like here's this thing, like I'm gonna try and figure out why it is the way that it is, but if I can't, I'm not gonna pull out whatever little hair I have like going crazy trying to figure it out. And that's why I'm gonna like format it and just gonna say like, hey, this is like a mini, it's gonna have like the mini thing. So it's not the same thing as like an ad lib where I feel like that was like more conversational. This is me just kind of trying to figure some crap out with like.
Well, I think that's. I mean, that's kind of how the OLED episode was, right? It was just like
like the back half of that
figuring it out. Wow, there's like look at the animal. It's got Animal Crossing fish and Animal Crossing dig holes. Yep,
we got a Castlemania game is in the chat saying with a $5 donation saying, when is Rygar PS2 or Wii getting its chance to leave the backlog? So I don't know. I recently popped that in to capture some footage for something, and I was
that on your list?
That is not on my list, but I can see myself playing it. It's not a great game, but I didn't play very far into it. I was joking because like when I first played it, before you get any power ups, your progress is blocked by a tunnel that is like goes up to like the top of the tunnel is like right about to Rygar's chest, and he's like, I can't get through here. Like hunch down a teeny little bit and run through this, and that's pushing you to be able to get like this slide move. But I was like, holy cow! And that's what I said. I said, why can't Rygar crawl? And it's like up to his chest. He's like, this is like supposed to be the greatest warrior in Rome, and he can't just like bend over a little bit. Just a little bit. It's not even, asking much. I understand that his disc armor is heavy, but come on. He's too proud to bend his knees. But yeah, I mean, that's I could see myself maybe playing through that at some point this year. Like that might be fun. I can't imagine it's that long either. What I did play through, though, I finished it yesterday, was The Last of Us Part 1.
Oh, you started it?
Yeah, and finished it.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
I mean,
you
it is
are just
amazing what you can
charging
achieve
through
if you
games this year.
play a game for a couple hours a night. And like that's just kind of what I've been doing to like unwind, and I've like been kind of, I mean, I haven't been releasing videos, but I've been beating a lot of games. So I don't even know how it happened. But yesterday, like I was only planning on playing through like one portion of it yesterday, and the back portions of the game, like, so the summer section is really, really long, and then fall, winter, and spring are like shorter than the entire summer portion.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember like it being a long time before the season sort of aspect was even brought into it.
Yeah. But I mean, so this was the first time I played it since that I played all the way through since the release on the PS3. So even remastered, I think I only played up until like the Pittsburgh like area, like the beginning of.
I never even played remastered that far.
Did you play like the Left Behind at least?
I've never played that actually.
Okay. I think that's like the main thing that I kind of wish would happen is that there was an option to integrate Left Behind like into the actual story.
Yeah,
like,
I installed it the other day because I just bought an expansion drive for my PS5.
Oh, right.
And so like I finally got all of my games installed at once. And so I installed it and I like put the disc in and like went upstairs for like an hour and then like came back down and like was like, which do you want to install first? And it like hadn't even started.
Yeah.
And so like I was surprised that it was like Uncharted is that way, but like I understand why, because those are like both large games. Like Left Behind, I've not played it, but I assume it can't be as long as like it's surely not like Lost Legacy.
No. It's like a one evening thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe like 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, I will admit that the reason I wanted to watch it is because, the TV show has two episodes left. And it's been really good, but like I said, it's been a long time since I played through it. Since I played all the way through it, so I was curious because in my mind it's like, oh, it's really close. And now, after playing the game, I'm like, it's pretty close, but also like not really close. It combines a lot of stuff in smart ways on the show. Like it combines events to kind of streamline stuff in very smart ways, but then there's certain things that I thought was different. Just like character changes. I mean, obviously like the whole like Bill and Frank thing is completely different, but like even the stuff with like Henry and Sam, like for some reason in my mind, I thought that Sam was mute in the game too, but he's not. But he is in the show. And much younger. He's like Ellie's age in the game. Just like a teeny little bit younger than Ellie. And then in the show he's like 8 or 9 or 10. So it's just, it's pretty it was, I don't know, like it took me, like several days to make it to fall, but then fall, winter, and spring all happen real quick. There's also 10 pounds from SE. Thank you.
Oh,
it is also,
thank you.
SE's first super chat ever. Thank you. Saying, happy Sunday, guys. Do you have any recommendation for PS3 controllers? Official ones are getting hard to find in good condition. That's something that's been going on for a little while, right?
A long time, yeah. Like I wish I had tips for that, because I really wanted to buy a new controller myself, like just to kind of have a fresh one that, you know, would be lightly used, you know, or that I would be using lightly, right? Kind of dig up that little sapling.
No, I don't think you can. At least right now.
But anyway, yeah, PS3 controllers are a pain in the butt. Because like even before PS3 was really like quite done and finished, like fakes were starting to become a problem, and they're just so thoroughly established now. I would have a hard time trusting any controller. Gosh, I wish I had more tips. I mean, I know that, you know, there's, you know, you don't hardly know until you get it, but like I've heard things like, you know, the little LEDs on the top feel more flush on real controllers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, I just like generally go under the assumption that any PS3 controller seen online is fake.
Yes.
I mean, especially if it's new. If it's new, like, if it's real and it's new, it's like got to be coming from like some sort of like super hardcore collector or something, because it just doesn't feel like you're going to find a real one.
Yeah.
It's a very pessimistic situation. You know, on the flip side, I bought a new unboxed Super Nintendo controller for like, I don't know, $50 maybe, and I don't know, 2010 maybe. There was no problem. That's the good one, the 97 one that has the engraved Nintendo and feels a bit better.
Yeah.
You know, I actually cleaned one of my PS3 controllers several months ago, and I washed the plastic and buttons because the buttons were sticking. And I thought I got it back together correctly, but the R and L buttons don't, or R2 and L2 don't spring back up very well.
Okay.
So I need to take it apart again and figure out what I did wrong with like the spring mechanisms.
You probably had it like that it wasn't like pinching or whatever. Like it.
Yeah, I was so convinced I had it right, but then when I actually tried playing with it a few days later, it was not working very well at all. You know, my collection of PS3 controllers is very boring because I have like probably like 3 black ones and 1 blue one. It's not a lot of variety. The blue one was that was the one that I used like for probably a majority of the generation.
Wait, for PS4?
PS3.
Oh, okay.
Did I say PS4 at some point?
Oh, maybe. People were.
I've got for PS4. I've got a launch black, a black one that's like the revised one that you can like see the bar on the front. And what was it? 20th anniversary? Was it 20th anniversary that had the gray one? That's still my primary PS4 controller. And then I've got a white one that I use with the PS TV, even though I know that DualShock 4s are laggier than DualShock 3s on PS TV. But I don't.
Oh, are they?
So, people talk about that all the time. But I think even DualShock 3s are apparently a little laggy on it.
Yeah. I mean, I have like a white PS3 controller, a blue one, and a black one. I might have like an extra, like I had an old white one that I had to replace the battery. I saw someone mentioned earlier that if you get a used PS3, like an official one, the battery's dead, they're really easy to swap the batteries. PS4 though, I mean, I have my favorite PS4 controller is my Midnight Blue one. I mean, I will buy Midnight Blue anything. I hope that they have a Midnight Blue DualSense at some point. But for right now, the purple DualSense is almost as good.
Satisfies that itch.
Yes. There's just something about it. Like I love like Midnight Blue, and it kind of goes back to like my Street Fighter 2 days, where my friend Tim and I we always used to fight over who was going to be Midnight Blue Ken.
See, I mean, I did like the Midnight Blue DualShock 4, but I don't feel like in most cases I would think of that as like, oh, gotta have that variation. But that is a nice one. I kind of regretted not getting it because it was on sale for a long time.
Well, my Target still had like the Midnight Blue DualShock 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still one still some at my Target.
Hopefully
so maybe
it won't be as hard to get legit PS4 controller. I mean, I don't even know if that's still like a major problem or not.
I don't know. So recently, a while back, did you say that you were thinking about kind of taking your PS4 out of your main setup or something?
No.
I mean, really, if you're not gonna might as well just use PS5 to play most of these games.
Well, yeah, I don't. I think well, what I did do is I have useful systems in the front and less useful systems to the side.
Yeah.
So actually, I didn't have the launch PS4. I didn't have it hooked up for a long time, but I eventually figured out I could put several systems over here and run them through another HDMI switcher.
Mm-hmm.
So over on the right-hand side, I have PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, Xbox One X hooked up. And I when I finally get off my butt and get this Test Smart switcher hooked up,
I can't play them.
I'm going to shuffle around a few more things, but yeah, I do have the PS4 and PS4 Pro hooked up, and also it's kind of funny what I did actually. I wish I could.
I think it's so funny. You're I gotta order this thing. It's it's gonna be here tomorrow. That Test Smart switcher, I'm gonna order it. It's gonna be here tomorrow. And it's that was 2 months ago, and you haven't even
I was I'm just worked around needing a working 8-input switcher ever since. Well, it's because I know that it's going to be a big pain to because I'm going to have to do a lot of HDMI cord work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just I'm dreading it. And it's oh, but I need to work on other things. When am I going to have the chance to?
Yeah. I mean, I was hopefully.
I've just been so afraid that it would completely incapacitate my setup. And the only thing that's really incapacitated right now is modded systems, because that's what was hooked into that 8-input switcher that doesn't work anymore.
But I mean, is it you're just unplugging systems from existing switchers and plugging?
I haven't really needed to use those systems a whole lot, with the exception of the GBA consolizer.
But isn't that what it comes down to, though? It's just you have multiple switchers for certain things, and you're just going to be.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to have to move where the cords are routed, and I've actually got some of the switchers kind of mounted on the back of the entertainment unit, and I don't want to do that with the 16 input switcher. So I'm going to have to move all the wires, and It's a whole to do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, took me an hour, because I was running multiple switches, and then they were feeding into one.
It's just that the cords, I'm going to have to, it like the 8-input switcher is like in the middle, hidden behind the unit, and this is going to have to go like way further to the side.
Yeah.
So it's just there's a lot. Some systems might need a different cable altogether because it might not be long enough.
Right.
So it's going to be a whole to do, and I've been every time I think about doing it, I think, but I should be working on Analog Frontiers.
Yes.
And then do I actually get that much done in the same time that I could have spent getting that HDMI switcher together? Probably not as much as I would like, but it's like I did make really good progress on Analog Frontiers Part 4 today, just so everyone knows.
Really quick, there was $9.99 from Tony Escobar. Thank you. Saying been immersed in making my Mr. work on my consumer CRT, the free one from the hospital. Now that the cores natively support Mike S's composite cores, it's terrific. Highly recommended. I didn't realize.
I don't know that much about that composite stuff. I
use the Retro Castles that has like the Saturn output board, and that supports it. But now it's like being introduced natively to certain cores, and that's something I guess I updated my Mr. like my main Mr. Last week, maybe. I don't know, like in an attempt to like keep myself like focused. I've started doing a number of things to varying degrees of success. I've been like really trying to plan out my days, like plan out like my schedule, saying like, okay, so this day, you work on this thing, for this amount of time, and it like tells me, and within that, like I've started doing this thing. I got this timer here where I turn off all distractions, and I just like hit this, and it switches, and it tells me I got 25 minutes, and I work focused on nothing else. I start this, I work on it until the timer goes off. Nothing distracts me. I close like any like social stuff. Yeah, Pomodoro. Pomodoro, like the tomatoes. And it's like, this has been like, it's kind of been a breakthrough. Finally, like I'm finding something that is keeping me like focused and being efficient on just getting stuff done and cutting off. So I got 25 minutes. Like I work, and then I like take 5 minutes, and I can be like, okay, I'm gonna like check my email, do like check my messages, blah blah blah, and then I do another 25, and I do, just keep it going for as many times as I can throughout the day. And it's been good. It's been finally like this is like the thing after trying many things. Like this is the thing that's is clicking with me. So that's good. I mean,
something I tried a couple of times several years ago was I think it was just called Forest or something like that. Where like you plant a tree, a virtual tree. Although apparently there was supposedly some sort of like real world aspect where supposedly they would also plant trees if something or other. But anyway, you plant this virtual sapling, and you say like how long you want to be focused. And if you open your phone for like any reason, I think there might be a few exceptions, but if you like pretty much if you open your phone before that time is up, then the tree dies. So you don't want to kill the tree. So
That's crazy. Well, I mean, you should. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you're getting distracted really easily, like this is a good way to just see if it works. And these timers are real cheap. Zane's dad's saying I've been using a tomato timer for years now. It's huge, but he does it at 15 minutes at a time.
a tomato timer? I thought the generic term was egg timer.
So Gaming Below has been a member for 29 months, saying 29 months. So I subbed in October of 2020. That means that Toki going ape spit is what convinced me to subscribe. Must have been a banger stream somehow.
I bet it was.
We were, and that was one is that we were toking some Toki. In that one.
Oh man.
At least I was.
I mean, I remember enjoying that stream.
So just really quick, back to that, so someone said, it's working in a room like that, like it's got to be easy to get distracted, and absolutely. And I think that's like a big thing. That's like been a big issue. And this has been good for keeping me on task and actually get stuff done. And then, so my thing is that like, by the time I between like my regular job and like dealing with stuff with that, and then this stuff, like by like 8:00 at night, like my brain is just like, I can't do it. I used to be able to just like stay up super late, like editing like episodes, and I can't do it anymore. And I see that someone said earlier that Shadow Math said I stopped playing games so much and got up earlier, and I feel like a productivity god. So last year I was getting up like real early, and I was getting up at like 5 a.m. and that's kind of great. I love getting,
but didn't you eventually realize you were not getting enough sleep?
Yeah, I realized actually I'm getting up early and it's awesome, but I'm not going to bed that much earlier. I'm still going to bed at midnight. So I was realizing I was getting 4.5, 5 hours of sleep a night.
That ain't cutting.
Well, I mean, it's fine if you're doing it for a while, but if you have a choice, it's well, is it hurting? At what point does it start hurting? Yeah, see, Mr. Dust says I get up at 5 a.m., but I go to bed at 10:30 or 11. And that's great. If I could do that, and I probably could, if I really wanted to. But, by the time we get to 8:00, then it's all right, so I'm just gonna got some now I'll play some games for a little bit, and then I'm generally going to bed before midnight, or if my wife is in the middle of anything, and she has an interest, then we we'll watch something, and usually we'll get in bed at 10 o'clock and watch something for a couple hours, and then just do the same thing the next day. But it's just figuring out what 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 is working in my life. And for the first time in a while, I feel like this timer thing is actually doing some good for me. It's a scheduling, and I said I was scheduling out my days also, so I have that reminder, that is coming up where it's okay, so every day from 9 to 11, or 8 to 11, I have, or 8 to 10, sorry, 8 to 10, I have My Life in Gaming current episode. So then I'll start working on that, and then after that, like I switch over to my regular job, and if I have stuff going on for that, like then I'll do the same thing with that. And then, you know, it depends on what I have each day, like what else I have like scheduled that day. And I try to make it, it's like, okay, so like I'm usually up by like 7 o'clock. So I have like 30 minutes exercise in there. I have like 15 minutes for answering emails and stuff like that. So it's just like a lot of things that I'm trying to make work, because somewhere along the way, like I can't tell you when it happened, but just my efficiency just like totally went in the toilet. And I'm guessing it's probably right when I moved, I'm guessing, which was like obviously like right at the beginning of 2020. So I don't know. I'm just, if this new way of like doing additional episodes works, then I think that everything is going to kind of come together in a way that has me excited, and we'll get just like more videos on the channel. And
I really like this sort of how like it's kind of like basically Breath of the Wild style exploration, but from like a overhead perspective, which is kind of neat.
yeah, it's just like you don't know what you're gonna find, so you just get like little.
But yeah, you can climb stuff,
right.
and you can glide. It feels very free form, and it's pleasant.
Yeah. Frank Bohr says, "Don't forget your morning coffee, Coury. The moment everything in the world is right." And yes, I would totally agree with you. You know, there's something like the greatest pleasure when I was getting up at 5 o'clock was having that first cup of coffee to like a house where everyone else is asleep. And you're like, I'm just gonna like take my time and work on this thing. Not gonna feel stressed out about it. Because probably the best thing about doing this, like doing stuff in this way, is I feel like I'm kind of like getting stuff done every day, at least, even if it's not readily like apparent to like everybody else. I know that I'm getting stuff done, because that is probably the worst thing, like with the ADHD that I struggle with, is when you have stuff you need to get done and you don't make very much progress or any progress at all on it because
and
of
then the
it.
guilt eats you alive.
It is like there is like it's such like the lowest feeling. It's just
I get that feeling too.
And you know, like exactly, like I just like I don't know. I think that I was.
Yet somehow, though, that feeling of guilt of not getting anything done isn't enough sometimes to motivate you to get stuff done. You would think like, well, if you don't want to feel guilty, then get stuff done, but like it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's tough.
It is.
Sometimes all the stars and moons and planets have to align to get things done. And I felt that way today, you know?
But that's the thing, you know, like
you have to feel that way more consistently. That's the problem for me. Is it's like everything has to be just right for me to get really productive.
I mean, like that's it though. It's like, you know, it's you know, like everybody has a day where like they don't get something done, but like when it's like, oh my god, I got nothing done this week, and it's like. Then you got to be like, well, why am I not getting anything done like in an entire week? You know what I mean? Mm. Especially like when we just like used to crank out episodes, like, and there was a lot of late nights in there and everything. But I feel like, you know, you stretch, like you work on episodes for like, you know, 2 hours a day, then it's still going to be like more consistent releases than like. So I don't know. It's just it's the lowest feeling. And then I spent like a lot of like this last week, like as I was like kind of researching like different techniques and you know about the Pomodoro stuff. I was just like, man, I can't help but feel like, you know, like aside from people who are like watching the stream every week, who just like are subscribed to the channel, it's like, man, they got to feel like so disappointed that like the like what are these guys doing? Like they're like doing such a good job, and like why can't they get stuff done? And then it like makes me turn around and I'm like, you know, honestly, like why can't I get stuff done? Like why can't I, you know, be more efficient and get stuff done? Doesn't have to be like as crazy as it was before, but why can't I at least be like more efficient and get something done, you know, just like a little bit each day, you know, where I don't feel like, oh my God, I got nothing done this day and I got nothing done this week. You know, like that's just, I don't know. Like I feel like it was like this like weird guilt that I'm like, so I need to do something about this because I don't want to feel like this about like making our YouTube show. You know, it's just like I shouldn't
just fun.
Like, yeah, but also like, you know, I should get enjoyment out of like making like the stuff that I want to make too. You know.
Yeah.
So I was using Todoist for a little bit to like track my to-do list, but now I'm just using this app. I wish there was like a PC version of it. It's called Structured. Like that's what I'm using to plan out my day, my tasks each day. See, like right now we're looking at the live stream. It's kind of filling up there. But then, you know, so like every how often? So every Monday from 7:15 to 7:45, I have a thing saying update devices because I love to update stuff. You know, I love like new firmware. Like there's a new like what is it called? Like the PlayStation.
I like how this says on the cell phone. Not even the games work offline.
But the you know, it's like I just need to like I love updating stuff, but like let's not get distracted and update stuff as soon as I see about it. It's like let's like give myself a half an hour on Monday morning to do it. You know, like yeah. I can keep track of all the stuff that I need to update if I see something comes out. But if it's not something I need to use right then, like I'm not gonna just like get into it.
Speaking of updating stuff.
Yeah, I mean I love updating stuff, but I need to like be more efficient, like not get distracted by like, hey, I'm gonna update this stuff.
But speaking of update, when's the last
hobby of updating stuff? I feel like that. I feel that.
And my hobby is not updating stuff, as you know. But I actually did update something this past week that I hadn't updated in a long time. And I'd be curious if you had updated it in the same frame of time or not. But when's the last time you updated the OSSC?
I don't know when the last time I updated. I thought it was like the final firmware, but I think there was a new one that came out like kind of recently, like because now that the Pro is like on the back burner because of the prices.
Oh, I hadn't actually heard about that. I hadn't heard.
Well, the Pro is like it's not like it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
To like actually try to sell, so it's like not.
So it's like basically made, but it's just.
Yeah, they can't afford.
Not ready to produce it.
Yeah, it'd be too expensive to produce.
Well, anyway, there was a update that there was an update. I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe, or maybe a year ago. I don't know. That has like a really good PSP mode on it. And
Yeah.
I recorded. I won't say what game it was, but I recorded a game that with for another Let's Play with John. I record on Monday, and I was recording PSP, and I remembered hearing something about PSP mode on the OSSC, and I couldn't remember off the top of my head if there was like a quick and easy way to do it on the RetroTink. But I was just like, I'm gonna try the OSSC for this, and it looked pretty amazing, I have to say.
Yeah.
I had to look up a video that pointed me in the right direction on some of the other settings I had to choose to make it work right. Here's the thing though. It did not work on my monitors in the room I record that in. So I had to play it off of the OBS screen, unfortunately. So it seems to be like lower compatibility than most OSSC modes. I'd be curious if it would work on the OS or on the OLED, but
yeah,
that's not where I was.
Andy64 has been a member for 12 months.
Nice.
Saying, hey guys, what are the main advantages of playing SNES game on the FX Pack Pro versus playing on the SNES Classic Mini console? Well, I mean, one is like, you're playing on the original hardware, and like, although it's like the FPGA in the FX Pack Pro is like emulating the hardware of the cartridge.
I mean, for the most part, I wouldn't really say that for like your standard games, but there, at the end of the day, there's not that many like chip enhanced games on Super Nintendo, so it's pretty much full hardware for the vast majority of games. So yeah, I mean, that's that. I mean, it'd be basically the same, sort of, advantage or perceived advantage or just warm, comfy feeling of using the original hardware. I mean, I don't know that much about the accuracy of emulators, added other games added on the SNES Classic. But Super Nintendo emulation tends to be really, really darn good just about no matter where you do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't imagine you're getting like a poor experience or anything.
No,
it just
no.
depends
I mean,
it just depends on whether the idea of, playing on original hardware is interesting to you or not. Is the main thing.
I mean, the other thing is, like, I mean, you can always hack the SNES Classic, of course. I mean, I didn't hack it, so I don't really know what it was capable of. But I mean, the FX Pack Pro, they had that new firmware. You can play Game Boy games on it using, Super Game Boy, I guess, like, mode, which is kind of cool. Of course, then you got the MSU one, like, CD quality soundtrack so you can use. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff. I mean, I don't want to say you can do more with one versus the other, because I'm sure that you can put RetroArch in like a billion different emulators on the SNES Classic if you wanted to. But that's like a big thing. I mean, that's a whole thing. Like, I've talked about this many times where, like, I have zero interest in putting RetroArch on like every single thing that I own. But there's people like that's like they love being able to put a RetroArch with everything on it. Like they want everything to play everything instead of just like having one thing to like really to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. I like having bespoke devices that do a specific thing for me,
as they were intended to.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big part of the reason I like consoles instead of like playing games on PC, because like I want this device to be playing games while the computer is doing the capturing. I don't like, if I can avoid it, I don't like screen capturing the game I'm playing on the PC with the same PC I'm capturing. I don't like doing that. Like there's, you know, it creates all sorts of complications and issues. I don't like it. I like to record just from the system, you know, which is part of the reason why I'm sure a lot of you all saw that whole thing about how Verizon is like selling to Verizon customers Xbox Series S for $150.
I mean, it's half off, but I mean, I was at a pawn shop the other day and they had a Series S for $150.
Really? You have good luck at pawn shops. I mean, not that you bought it, but
I just think that generally, like, that's.
But you have good luck at pawn shops around here. Like, I've seen Series S at pawn shops around here, and it's like it's not a good price.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, I ended up getting one because I'm just like, you know, that's like, I know it's not super useful to me because I'm all into physical games, but you never know. Like, I like having hardware for B-roll. I like having the option to test something on one thing or another if I really need to. But to be honest, I mostly just want to put the emulators on it because I hate using RetroArch and Dolphin and PCSX2 and PPSSPP and whatever. I hate using those on my computer when I need to record software emulation, because sometimes you're talking about software emulation in a video. And I don't enjoy the experience of loading them up on a computer. Nothing against the emulators. I just don't like using them on a computer. And I actually have some of that stuff installed on my Series X, but I like the idea of just putting it on a Series S, which for most of it should do just as well. Now, and not even hook it up permanently anymore. But like, I can just plug it straight into a capture card. It's like, oh, I need to record some software emulation Super Nintendo. I need to record some Dolphin or whatever. Like, just plug it straight into the capture card and record it. You know, like I don't like recording it on the same system I'm playing it on. I like having that separate box, you know? But yeah, I know Microsoft is just looking to sell more Game Pass, but I'm probably just going to put emulators on it for the most part. And I'm probably not actually really going to play those emulators. I'm just going to use them. I'm just going to use them for work, right?
Yeah. There was 1999. Hernandez. Thank you very much. Saying the 2017 and 2022 end of year lack of content explanations were very similar. Don't let it get to you, Coury. It happens to all of us once we become real adults and parents. It's just a fact of getting older and not a shortcoming. I appreciate that. But there's like not very many, there's not really much of an excuse to at least not have something more than what has been happening. There's just, I mean, there's no reason. There's zero reason that between two people that we can't have something more than what we have.
Well, last year it was pretty justifiable when the first video didn't come out until the end of March, because
right.
It was the Mr. video. You're not getting anything quite that scale. Although I guess Analog Frontiers, in some, it's a different length, but it is a similar scale of work, I guess. But
yes.
And I apologize how long it's taken to get to part 4 and 5, but I'm finally making like the best progress I've made on it in a long time. So
that's good news. That's good news for everyone. Like, there's just like, I know you're saying like just pick up your camera right now and walk around your game room and boom. I mean, I have a 17-page script for like a tour video that I just need to like just make it, and I can do that. And that's just like the whole
It's not
thing.
as simple as just turning on your camera and doing it, though, you know? Because we
Exactly.
gotta show specific
Like,
things, and so we need specific
if I can't make it as good as I want to make it, but you know, like I can, like I am just like literally just sitting here looking for any excuse not to make the things. You know what I mean? Does it ever feel like that, where it's like, you know, I will like say, oh, I'm going to do this thing that I need to take care of. I'm going to do it right now. And it's like, it really just feels like, hey, I'm like doing things, like literally anything to avoid doing this thing that I should be doing.
I mean, I really, like, it was my intent going into the weekend to like just spend all day apart from the stream now, like both days working on Analog Frontiers. But see, yesterday though, like I could have, but like I just got these two new shelves. And I'm like, well, I don't want the big boxes for these shelves.
Yeah, and that's what it comes
around. So I got to put these shelves together, and like I can't tell you what was the right decision. Should I have worked on Analog Frontiers, or should I have like not put those shelves together until I finished? I don't know. I mean,
that's what it comes down to. It's like, you know, like you have a project that you're working on, and like you chose the thing that you rather do right then, and it was like completable and accomplishable, like in the moment. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, like why you haven't hooked up that switcher in 2 months.
See, I did the shelves and I haven't done the switcher. Like it would have been a similar amount of work, but I did have to put together two shelves and then move stuff around shelves. So I took
exactly. But that's what I'm just trying to say is like, you know, there's just like no like real reason for like to be having like the challenges and like lack of like stuff that we're doing, because we're just like coming up with like stuff that like we're just taking things that like don't need to happen.
Ultimately, all of these things will play into the tour video though.
They will whenever they happen.
Yeah.
I said it was going to happen at the beginning of 22. It's like it still has not happened. Like I said, I have a 17-page script, and that's like not even accounting for the B-roll area. Like that's just like what I have here, and I'm like, I gotta cut that down for one, like make it so that, you know, like people actually want to like look at this stuff. But you know, like I know I gotta shoot all this stuff, and that's like all B-roll, and that's fine because I could really just walk around like with my work gimbal and shoot stuff, and then like just edit that into the video, and like people will be totally happy with that. But I'm like, I got to come up with something that's like better than that, like spinning shot from like that I did a long time ago where it's like spins around the room.
In the house you rented?
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of my favorite shots that I ever did, where it's just like I'm doing different things every time it spins around. That's like an RGB 102, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, because I had that like a thing, and I put a tripod on it, and like I managed to like get it so that it spun around.
Oh, it was just was it the rotating turntable?
Yes. For Kaylee Gamer saying procrastination is a term. Yes, I know that's exactly what it is, but I'm trying to smack some sense into us. I like say like there's like no reason for us to be like not doing this stuff, and ultimately we're gonna feel better about it, and people are gonna be happy about it, and you know, we're not gonna feel like we're letting anybody down. And I think that I just need to just get, it's like I'm gonna do this thing where it's me talking about the Ambernick, and there's gonna be a like, hey, like I don't really know why this is the way it is, like maybe it's because of this. And that's just gonna that's not gonna be like a real episode, but it's gonna be at least presenting something and talking about stuff. Anyways, there was $10 from Andy64. Thank you. Saying I can share some gamer rage stories. What games made you throw the controller? I mean, sternly set it to the table in front of you.
Blastcore did that.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
For you.
I set it down. I flipped it around. Yeah, I mean that happened live, but I mean I've really haven't like lost my temper to an extraordinary amount
Yeah.
since F-Zero GX story mode. I think, and
Oh,
that's like,
you would consider that to have been an extraordinary amount of temper loss?
oh my! I wanted to destroy the controller. Like I was like hitting the handle grip of the controller like with my palm of my hand. Like I wanted to break it.
I mean, you know, I've told my story a few times. I think
About the
about Rogue Galaxy,
yeah.
Rogue Galaxy final boss, like the last save point is I'm pretty sure the last save point's right before the final boss, but
I'm gonna fill up my water.
okay. It's so time consuming to get to the last form. And like the point, like everything was easy enough except for the pretty much the last moment. And I have a bucket, I guess. Everything was pretty easy except for the last moment, easy enough. And I could not figure out why I died in this big blast. Like I couldn't figure out any way to dodge it. And ultimately what I figured, like I died on it twice, and the second time because I felt like nothing had changed. I didn't understand why I died the first time. It happened. I thought, okay, I'm going to see what happens here, and I felt like I learned nothing. And I was just like, oh, and I had one of those Logitech wireless controllers, and just threw it on the floor. And it just went and flipped to the other side of the room. And it didn't break it or anything. But that's like the one time I like threw the controller. I see Mr. Dew and Korvac talking about the moon pit. Mr. Dew, you weren't even around in the moon pit days, were you? Unless you were really lurking for a long time there. Yeah, the DuckTales Moon Pit, which actually, by the way, I was thinking about streaming the Game Boy version of DuckTales tonight. At one point, I was considering it. So when I streamed DuckTales on NES on the Backloggery a long time ago, I mean, these were early stream days. I mean, gosh, this was probably 2009, 2010. And I played through it, but I didn't get the best ending because you have to get like a certain amount of money, I think it is, to get the best ending. And so I started again from the beginning, and I was on my last life, and I had everything I needed, and I exited the spaceship. And turns out, you know, there's a rope that goes up and down into the spaceship. And I thought I could just walk out the spaceship, hold right or left, and land on ground. I didn't think I had to use the rope. But as it turns out, you won't move over left enough with falling velocity to actually hit the ledge. And I was on my last life, and I thought I had it all in the bag. You know, I wasn't that worried. And this was pre-webcam. In fact, back in those days, Backloggery people didn't even know what we looked like. It was like this meme for a long time that like no one even knew what we looked like. We didn't have webcams on our streams. I don't know if it was really even that common at that time for people to have webcams on their streams.
No, because there was no easy way to do it.
Streaming was still really early.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, yeah. So I just went, like off the couch and onto my knees and just no, just pounding the floor. That wasn't like rage though. That wasn't rage. That was pure unadulterated despair.
I want to give a big high five to Zane's dad for this is great. Saying procrastination is totally a good thing. You always have something to do tomorrow and nothing to do today.
I think I've seen him say that before. That's probably a quote from something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I've seen him say that before, which is, that's that's what an optimistic outlook on life.
Yeah.
Except you'll actually feel really terrible about it in practice. Yeah. But it sounds so good.
It does. Oh, man. Is anybody in the chat, has anybody watched or have been watching Poker Face on Peacock? That's real good if you haven't watched it. That's the thing that my wife and I are watching lately. I like it because, like, it's every episode is kind of a self-contained thing. It has kind of a very broad, overarching story.
Whoa.
But it's good. Yeah. So with Natasha Lyonne, who is like extremely watchable. Like I like just. She's like so quirky and like and funny and just like I don't know, just like the way that she acts, I guess. I can't believe they never made a second season of that show that she was in, Russian Doll, which was like a time loop show where she's like stuck in the same day over and over and over again, and like she was just trying to figure out like why. And it's always like never her waking up in the morning. It's like she like teleports to like being in the bathroom at a party. It's pretty good. But Poker Face is really good. What I like about it, and it's kind of interesting because I try it. She's like, so this girl like has this ability like to like know when somebody's lying.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like on the run from criminals like across the U.S. and she just like finds herself in all these like different jobs, and like a murder or some crime will happen, and she like doesn't want have anything to do with it, and she ends up like kind of solving it. But the interesting thing is that you see who did it, like from the very beginning. Like you see the whole crime like play out, and like who's guilty. And really the whole show is just like watching her figure it out. And it's kind of fun in that way. I mean, I don't think the show would work with anybody else. Like it is good because like the main character is so watchable.
Who?
I mean, it's an actress named Natasha Lyonne. I'm not sure.
No.
Probably won't. She doesn't like.
I'm not super good at celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's very similar to like it's like kind of a modern day Columbo. If you're familiar with Columbo.
Vaguely, I remember seeing it on TV back in the day, but I don't remember.
I mean, she has a very similar like mannerism to her. Yeah, she was an American Pie, but like kind of a very small role. But in this, she has like that full-on like Brooklyn accent, and it's just like I don't know. She's really fun to watch. I recommend the show, and what I like is that it's kind of self-contained, and you don't feel like I got to watch like more episodes. It's like I can just like watch one tonight, and you get like the entire story in that, and then like the next episode, she's working someplace else. But they're like the thing that made me laugh the most is like there's this like one part, and I mean like She's like in a bathroom, like at a truck stop, and she's like looking in, like doing something in the mirror, and this woman comes in and just like farts really loud, and she kind of looks over at her, like, and then the woman's like, "What? That's what happens in here." It made me laugh like a lot. I don't know. Absolute silence from you, like like nothing. Like that's not even that funny. Like,
I mean, it might be funny if you know, in context. I mean, I'll never forget the time that me and Dave and Noptop were on the way to Retro World Expo. We stopped at a rest stop in it was in Connecticut somewhere. I think it was Connecticut. And like, man, you know, I mean, I got on the toilet and Dave and Noptop were at the urinals. And I, you know, what can I say? There was the echo of everything was just like so. The bowl of the toilet made quite an amplified sound. And I could just hear Dave just like trying his hardest to not die laughing in a public bathroom after he
and you're supposed to say what? That's what happens in here.
I mean, it's true. But the funniest part was just thinking of Dave at the urinal. Like I could just hear him stifling it so hard. I know, Sandy. It was funny.
All right, so there was $4.99 from Brian Kinney. Thank you. Saying, before crossing a subscriber milestone, did you feel a correlation between your best work and views subscribers? Key phrases seem to drive things.
No, say what again?
I'm trying to parse a little bit. Before crossing a subscriber milestone, did you feel a correlation between your quote unquote best work and views subscribers? Key phrases seem to drive things. No, I mean, I think that.
Let me tell you about just how much you just can't predict it. In terms of the amount of time, like in this same amount of time following the release of the Mr. video, the games we played in 2023 is somehow like not that far behind it. Like that video has done shockingly well for no discernible reason. Like significantly better than any other the games we played has ever done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's something about it. I think also that it may have just like got caught up in the algorithm somehow. But I think people like just found themselves like really kind of digging the style of like, hey, you know, it doesn't have to just be games that came out this year. Like maybe more people enjoyed that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say we're the ones that overthink like the words that are used or in the title, the type of thumbnail that is used. Mm-hmm. You know, you know, the subject, the length, you know, are people going to be annoyed by this? Are people going to be annoyed by that? Did they like this? Did they like that? At the end of the day, it's all in the hands of the algorithm gods.
Yeah.
You think about all these things, and at the end of the day, like we're the ones that agonize ourselves over it.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, oh, like but don't we need to do it this way or that way? Or, you know, just like with this episode you're working on, you know, it's like, well, should we call it a mini? Should we not call it a mini? What do people think when we call it a mini? You know, does that mean more people will watch it or fewer people will watch it? Or maybe if I just put the mini graphic on the front end, but don't put mini on the title and don't put mini on the thumbnail, but just have the mini in the video play at the beginning just to set expectations. But then I don't know, you know, and y'all don't even think about that, do you? Like that doesn't influence whether you watch a video or not. Like you don't even think about it. And we spend so much time thinking about that stuff, and then it's just like
meaningless.
It basically doesn't. But there's no way to prove it doesn't matter because you released it, you know, in one way, and then you'll never. One thing I can tell you though, I mean I can't prove it, I guess, but like that PlayStation marathon video should have done so much better than it did. But I can't prove that it was killed only because of the re-upload. Like maybe it still would have been significantly less than the Nintendo and Sega and controller accessories, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard to really guess, but I don't think it makes that much sense that it did so much worse.
Well, I mean, I think about, you know, like thinking about like best work and best views. Like I feel like I was creating my best work in 2019, I think. Like I always think about like that, like the first save file episode is like one of my favorite ones that I ever did. And just like the episodes from that year where it's like the games within games. I'm pretty sure that was 2019. And
is it really? That feels like I feel like that was a long time ago.
No, that was not that long time ago.
Really?
Like that.
Wow.
I mean, listen, it was a long time ago because it was 4 years ago. I mean, honestly,
2019 wasn't a long time ago. What are you talking about?
I mean, when you think about it, though, I mean, it was a long time ago because it was, you know, it was, yeah, October 2019. That video came.
That blows my mind.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. It's like, oh my god, like I think about like, I mean, that was 3.5 years ago. Okay, through almost like you know, like that's like a significant chunk of the channel's life. Like I was thinking about how like
Oh.
some of the stuff that we shot for Analog Frontiers was shot in 2018. Like that
don't
is
say it. Don't say it.
It's half the channel's lifetime ago.
I know. Oh,
Which
look,
I mean,
on
you think about that, it's like the last like 3 years feel like so long ago. It's like impossible to like understand like that it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was like, oh my god, that was
basically a lifetime.
well, I mean, it's like it's half of the
It's the entirety of someone's high school or college years, which is like horrible to think about.
Well, also, it's been like, you know, like half the channel's lifetime ago. It's like from the time that we started the channel to like shooting that same amount of time has passed. And just like think about like how much content was like that we made in that time. And then since, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that's just like stuff like that my life in a lifetime ago. Yes. I mean, it's that's the kind of thing that's been like what are we doing? I just like what am I doing? And like how can I just like make it better and make me like excited and proud of like the stuff that I'm putting in like in front of out to people. That's it. It's just like, it's so weird to think about that. Yeah, we're the best as we can be, but I mean, I juggled all this stuff before. I can juggle it again, and not feel overwhelmed by it. Like I don't. I just think about, like, I think that the best work that I was making on the channel was in 2019. And I have like a huge amount of a script to like make another games within games, or a useful ROM files, or useful ROM hacks, which was July 7th, 2019. And it feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't.
I thought you were just saying it was.
I mean, it is a long time ago, but it's like, it simultaneously feels like a long time ago and not.
I mean, that's what the 2020s do to you.
Yeah. See, I didn't do any of this stuff with the flowers.
I mean, I'm definitely being pretty meanderingly here.
Well, that's what I was doing too, but I didn't find any of that.
Well, it seems like you could have just gone like right up the mountain if you really wanted to, you know?
No, because once you get up to the top, you need a certain amount of golden feathers to be able to make it to the top.
But like maybe you skipped all this like coastal stuff.
I mean, I saw a lot of this coastal stuff, but I didn't see the stuff with the flowers. I mean, I explored like a lot of this stuff, got in the boat and everything. But it's just like, I just think that's cool because, like, who knows how much there is really to discover. Yeah. Right? It just like feels like it's a pretty neat game though, right?
Yeah, it is. Like it's just fun exploring, even though, like, you know, it's like, what if Animal Crossing were an adventure?
Right. Yes. People are asking for some soundboard.
That's good.
Delicious.
Chicken. Fresh meat.
That's like, I forgot to give whoever, like, who was the person who super chatted for the first time, SE, saying, "Oh, we got a new first time super chatter here."
Fresh meat.
Oh, is it really loud? I'm sorry. I mean, it'd be so loud.
Is it? I don't know. It sounds normal to me.
That's my favorite one. It's just pretty loud. Sorry. My audio just cranked up because I was doing something, so it's just.
This is strange. Why? This doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I think it's on the website, but in addition to going to the Midwest Gaming Classic at the end of this month, we are going to the Music City Multicon in Nashville.
So that's confirmed. I know.
Yeah. I mean, we said yeah, and it's like a ways off. It's like
October.
It's not.
Yeah, they're playing early.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, and like we even get our own hotel rooms. So you know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
It's like drivable. Like my wife and kids are coming too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
mean, I don't know what to expect from a multi-con.
I mean, it's just a bunch of different stuff. I'm sure it's like it looked like a lot of like anime guests and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. SC. Oh, from Nana Cheesecake. I'm sorry. I think that was like right when we were like just still talking about the other one from Brian Kinney. Sorry about that, Nana Cheesecake. Sorry about that. There's $5 from Nana Cheesecake saying, I just got back from a con, ECCC. I'm not sure which one that is. Saying, name dropped MLiG at a few game booths. Wish I remembered who, but at least one knows and watches.
I would assume that my assumption is that would stand for East Coast Comic-Con, perhaps.
Oh, Emerald Coast.
What's
in
Emerald
Seattle.
Coast? Which coast is Emerald?
Well, it says it's in Seattle. It looks the West Coast. Well, thank you for that. I hope you had a good time. Did you buy anything cool? Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle. Yes. There's also $19.99 from Scott Davis.
Oh,
Thank
good
you.
to see you, Scott.
Saying, hey dudes, wanted to send thanks to try for the LG OLED C2 cautionary episode. We are remodeling our house, and I'm including a 77-inch C2 in the budget for our new lounge media space. I aim to do 1080p 4K sources, 2.1 audio.
Nice.
77. Man.
If I got a 77-incher, I think I'd have to put the couch on the back wall.
Thank you. I mean, I was just talking, I think, earlier about how I don't feel like I'm happy that like I hadn't like bought any like a new TV. Like who even knows? Like I'm glad I haven't bought a new TV or new receiver.
Yeah. You should be. I mean, I would have been happy with the C7 if only it hadn't degraded. But yeah,
Right.
but it's the whole give a mouse a cookie or whatever, right? Like, so I had to upgrade. I got the C1, and then it's like, well, but I can't. I'm frustrated that I have this TV that can do 4K 120 hertz. I'm frustrated I have this TV that can do VRR, but I can't do that with my current receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you upgrade the receiver, and, it was a whole can of worms, and everything is complicated. Nothing is easy.
You know what? No, it sucks. I can't even capture this either. And then
I upgrade all that, and then it's like, I've been very sloppy with my interval recording this year. And you know why? Because, using modes like VRR and stuff makes it, not really viable. Also, I finally found this island again. This is driving me nuts. Why is there a view thingy, a shadow of like a view thingy, but there is nothing out in this direction that could be
there's going to have to be, I guarantee you there's going to be something.
But
maybe you haven't gotten anything for it yet. Maybe it's. I think that
but
there's.
you see how there's like a shadow of that.
I know, but there's something I heard somebody, although I never discovered it. Somebody like talks about like a secret invisible island or something like that.
Oh,
so, like part of that mystery.
Hmm.
There was $4.99 from Madonna Sheehy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, looking forward to the Castlevania DLC for Dead Cells tomorrow. Anyone else? Thanks for the stream as always, guys.
I loved the trailer for that, but I haven't played Dead Cells, so I don't know if it'd be my thing or not.
There was a code in our email for Dead Cells, included in that DLC, and there's a Steam code. So I'm like, I'm gonna put this on
Maybe you should stream it next week.
Maybe I should.
I would be interested to see, because I mean I don't know that much about it. Like I know it's a roguelike, which, you know, we liked Returnal, but I still think I still think my tolerance for the genre overall is probably going to be fairly narrow.
Mm-hmm. But you feel more open to experimenting after Returnal?
I would say so. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I'd played stuff before, like Chocobo's Dungeon on Wii, and I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I bought Hades, although I still haven't played it. You know what I considered briefly streaming tonight. Speaking of Hades, not that I would necessarily have streamed Hades, but oh, this is right above the starting point.
Right there, if you do, you can like call to her. Stand on there. You can call to her.
Oh, the person at the campfire?
Yeah, it's like her aunt, Claire's aunt.
Oh, Aunt May. I just thought it was someone hanging out at the park. I didn't know they were related. But anyway, you know, since I finally got all my PS5 games installed with my expansion drive, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a PS5 games I've never booted stream.
Okay.
I may do sometime, but when I looked at my library, I'm like, I don't know how many of these would even be good to stream for like a few minutes. Whereas like Switch and PS4, I feel like I've got a lot of games like that, where it's like, oh, I haven't booted this, and it would be fun to like play a little bit.
I mean, I told you that I booted up. I had a friend here yesterday. You know, it's a friend whose his kids are in my kids' class, and both of our wives like went out for like a friend's birthday party like last night. So I was like, oh, why don't you come over here? We'll hang out, and we played Dawn of the Monsters. And I'm like, oh, this will be a fun kind of beat 'em up for us to just like, you know, play while the kids are doing whatever.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
That's
I found myself very
bad to hear.
It was like, like he doesn't play many games, so he's just like, I'm over it. Don't really want to play it anymore.
I mean, I wonder if you played it by yourself, if it rather than play with someone that doesn't play a lot of games, maybe it would. I don't know.
Well, last time we played Shredder's Revenge, and he was like all about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still haven't played it myself. I mean, I thought it looked pretty all right.
I mean, it does, but the problem is that, you know, you just like trampling through these destroyed cities or through these cities, and it's just like you're going in a straight line. There's no like vertical movement, like changing paths. At least what I've played.
I thought there was like up and down, just like on any brawler.
Well, as far as we played, we didn't have any of that. It just wasn't that great. It was just like nothing compelling to it, and like it's cool that you're like big, but you know, you trample through buildings and stuff, and I don't know, it just looks like they like the effect is not very compelling. I don't know. Like I was expecting it to be better than it. But
Yeah, I'll
And
have
it had really bad
to try it out
Yep.
myself to see if see how much it compels me.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Yeah, it has bad screen tearing. Surprised.
Yeah, it's not something you see on PS5 like much at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. Tori Henzo said, I beat Returnal on the PC the other day. Got the secret ending too. Yet to beat the tower, but it isn't really very rogue in my opinion. I can understand that. Like, I mean, I think that is a good for someone who doesn't really play roguelike likes.
Right. I mean, it's
like I think that it's more like for me, it was like the main thing that I don't like that never appealed to me about roguelikes is like the randomly generated worlds.
yes.
And in this, you know,
everything is very designed.
yes, and the rooms fit together, you know, in ways like different ways every time, every cycle, but it's like I don't know, like it was a way to make me feel as though like, well, maybe I could learn to like something like this.
The way the levels fit together like always felt very natural, and I felt like every cycle I still felt like, oh, like the world made an impression on me in such a way where it was like, oh, I remember I saw, one of those recovery beds. And
Yeah.
like I think it was like a few rooms that way. Like I never felt like, oh god, like I never felt like I got like cycles like confused or anything. Like I always felt very focused on the cycle I was on, and like the level layout made an impression in a way that I wouldn't expect it from like a more purely randomly generated world. And that kind of stuff just doesn't interest me because I like the world of the game to make an impression.
Yeah.
And because you were re-seeing the same rooms again and again in Returnal, it worked.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you say you wouldn't call it very roguelike, but but it has some of those elements, and people like us who aren't typically into that genre and aren't a fan of like randomly generated or procedurally generated stuff. I so many people that I know who don't like that stuff are like, oh man, Returnal's amazing. And then both of us finally played it, and yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it may not be so purely roguelike, but I think that's good for people like us,
Yes. It's like it's easing us into the idea of liking. There's $5 from Captain Swag 101. Thank you. Saying I had a migraine all day, so while I can't bear to look at my screen for too long, I've had the stream playing audio and it's been nice and relaxing. Well, I appreciate that. Like that's like, I mean, migraines are never fun, but thanks for like tuning in some way regardless. Like migraines are the worst. They are the worst. I don't have them very often, but I never had one so bad that it just didn't go away even with like a bunch of Advil or ibuprofen. But like the worst is like when it's like so bad that you just have to go to bed. It's been a long time since I've had one. I was like, I just need to go to bed. It's Korvac is saying I always rated roguelikes and their difficulty on a scale of Triforce to Drumble, because Drumble really likes them, right? He's a big roguelike.
Oh yeah.
And for him, it's like the harder the better, probably, right?
Yeah, he's pretty big into them, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big into what is it called, like stone soup or something like that. It's like one of these like ASCII based ones, and like he loves like that, like just those real abstract like types of ones. Like he eats that stuff up.
Oh, Captain Spike, I think it might be because I'm trying to reduce my caffeine intake a bit. I mean, that could be it. It's just like withdrawal from it.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that's what happens when you're hooked on caffeine.
Yeah. Just need to. That's I guess I have 2 cups of coffee a day. That's my limit. Although there's been times where I've had maybe.
Caffeine doesn't do anything to me.
I gotta.
I mean, nothing tangible.
I'll probably have more than 2 cups of coffee next weekend. So I gotta for work. I gotta go to Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Sports Show.
Sports?
Yeah,
Or
it's like
sporks?
a outdoor, like sporting show.
Oh.
It's like
For a second, I thought you said sporks.
oh, that would be cool if it was.
Like the Sporks Con.
But I'm going there. So originally, somebody was supposed to go. That lives in Chicago and was just going to drive, and something came up and he wasn't able to go. So he was like looking for other people on my team, saying like, "Oh, can anybody go to this?" I was like, "I'll go." It's just funny because now I'm going to Milwaukee twice
In one
this
month.
and I haven't been there since like 2009, probably.
Wait, I've never been there. What would you have done there in 2009?
I went there. A friend's wedding was there.
I've never been.
But like, so I'm going there. They didn't really have much of a budget to send me, so like, I had to like look for like the cheapest flights, and I was like, I could technically drive, but that would be like 7 hours, and that 7-hour route like takes me like directly through Chicago.
Oh,
It's like I don't
no.
do that. Anyways, I was going to so I'm flying there, but the cheapest way to do it is like, so I get a flight in. My flight is at 6:00 in the morning on Saturday, and I get there, and I'm going to be shooting all day. And then I was going to like, at first I was like looking to like fly out that night. That was like on the table at one point. But now it's
fly in and out on the same day.
yeah, and shoot all day too. But then it's like, okay, well, it's actually cheaper if I stay the night. But then my flight out is at 6 a.m. the next day, next Sunday. So it's gonna be kind of a whirlwind 24 hours. So I'm sure that by stream time, I'll be like, ooh, like let's. I mean, I almost said to you, I said, maybe I should stream tonight because you might need to stream next week.
Well, we'll see.
But we'll roll with it. We'll see where I'm at.
I mean, I could play and you could just sit there being all tired and loopy.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Matthew McFetter saying, "Hey Coury, Jamestown, New York, represent." Heck yeah! I haven't been back to Jamestown in a couple of years though, because now that once my mom moved away, like I just haven't been back. Although I think I might go back at some point this summer.
Oh.
There's like a ski resort kind of close by that's it's kind of a neat place, like when it's not ski season. It's like it's almost
Have you ever
like
skied? I've never skied.
I haven't skied in a very, very, very long time because when I was a kid, I went skiing. My dad took me skiing, and ran into somebody so hard. Like I still remember like laying on my back and seeing the skis flying through the air.
Wow.
That was I must have been 5.
Wow, that's
Thing that I remember very vividly is like hitting somebody and seeing the skis flying through the air. And that was the last time I skied. Yeah, it was at Peak and Peak.
My dad broke his leg in college skiing.
Oh.
That was like the main reason he went to University of Denver was to ski in college.
Well, that's cool though. I mean,
like,
but I bet you,
like he said he ran into some girl on the ski slope who had like fallen and needed help. And so he was going down the mountain to get help for her, and then he broke his leg on the way down.
So did he never ski again, or is he?
Oh, I'm sure he skied more, but like, I mean, you know, as he got into his further into his adult life, he gave it up.
Yeah.
But he did want to, when we went through Colorado one year, he did want to stop at several of the old ski resorts just to take a look.
That's cool. Matthew McFetters, have you lived there your whole life? I mean, I'd like to go skiing again. Like, I feel as though I could see myself trying it. Like, maybe I would take my kids and like, we'll find it out, figure it out.
So the last time you went was that one time when you saw the skis flying over your head.
That was the last time I skied, yeah.
First and last?
Maybe. But
I can't imagine ever trying. Sports are dangerous.
You know, it's kind of an interesting thing because, you know, like my kids are like not super really interested in sports, but like my son's, like, a couple of his friends are like into playing like Little League. And I think that he wanted to just kind of see what it's about. So we went down to the park today and like we got like a wiffle ball and a bat. And he was like, oh, this is really fun. So now I think that he like might want to, you know, try to explore a little bit. And that's fine. It's like, you know, I'm not very good, but you know, I will help as much as I can.
I mean, I went through a baseball phase when I was, you know, back when I lived in Cincinnati, since, you know, there was a baseball team nearby.
Right.
You know, I had a phase with baseball. And I played when I was in 3rd grade. I played, you know, on you know, it wasn't Little League, but whatever you would call it. You know, whatever little local they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit a foul ball a few times during practice. And I never hit a ball during a game. And I got a black eye from the pitcher. That was it. I never sportsed again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was not like very big into it, but like it's just like it's such a thing that I said, you know, like even if you don't like it, you don't like to play, like I said, it's like a useful thing to like understand a little bit.
I mean, is it? I've gone through my whole life not understanding football, and I feel like I ain't any the worse off for it.
Well, I mean, I think that it's just like it's just useful to an extent. Like what if Madden 92 like has the potential to be your favorite game of all time?
What if it could be? It couldn't be. It couldn't be.
There's $2 from Demo Kirby who says,
Oh.
just now got the final Golden Eye cheat.
Oh,
49 facility 00.
nice. Yeah, I saw he was posting on in the Discord about working on those, and he just got the one in the caves a little earlier, I think. And then I remember the facility being one of the hardest ones for sure. If not the hardest. Which is, you know, crazy because it's like kind of the most iconic level, really. So you'd think it wouldn't be that hard. Oh, there's like a whole, like that almost looks like a place that you couldn't get to. Like that.
I don't know. It's just like I never played like sports in school, even though like, you know, since I was a big kid, everyone's like, oh, you should play football. And it's so funny thinking back on it because I had so many friends who played football. And the thing is, like, the thing I'll remember the most is like when they were like, you know, practicing before they played any games. Like, this so much every single day, like just like miserable, like having to go to practice.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, I can't wait to play next year. It's like this, like, you know, what is it, Stockholm syndrome?
Ugh. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never,
for whatever reason, like
fun, just, you know, so there was, I enjoyed playing basketball with my friends because in the house that I grew up, our old garage, like collapsed at one point, and there was just like this big slab of cement. And my grandfather came and put up a basketball hoop. So it was just like we could play basketball on there, and it was a lot of fun. It's like a great way to do that. But you know, it's just like fun to do that kind of stuff with my friends, and you know, like if my son wants to explore, like thinks it's fun to throw a ball back and forth or like hit balls, like toss to him, like that's fine. Like it's just like a good thing to, you know, you never know what might click, you know. And if you ask me, anything that like gets them outside for a little bit is good. Russ, you know, spend too much time. I mean, I seriously, God, I don't want to spend so much time looking at a screen. And like, I mean, that's what I do. I spend too much time, but it's like, you know, like let's just get outside and get away from stuff. And
wait, her aunt is the one that I'm supposed to deliver that thing to.
Oh yeah, the
I didn't
bracelet,
know her aunt was a ranger.
The shell thing, right?
Yeah. I thought it was. I tried going to the ranger at the store and.
Yeah, life experiences. It's just. Yeah, this was.
I can Animal Crossing this rock.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, it was sparkling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Anything gets them outside, that's good. Oh, that's
good.
So that's fun. I mean, we got to like throw the frisbee around also.
Oh, anything that lets you throw the frisbee around. Anything that lets you throw the frisbee around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the physical for this was, gosh, was it before when we went to Retro World? It's like when it came up for sale.
When what went up for sale?
This game. I feel like it was like August or something like that of last year. Is when Super Rare Game.
I mean, it was not that long ago.
Yeah, it's BBA 935 says, I love video game football, but never wanted to play it in organized sport. With friends was fun, though. And that's like kind of how it was for me.
For whatever reason,
Hades Hot Gun says, playing football in high school allowed me to make friends with other turbo nerds on the team, and yet never get made fun of throughout high school.
turbo nerds, you mean turbo graphics?
Just like hardcore nerds, probably.
Oh,
Like-
turbo nerds.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea that like somewhere in this country there was like a football team that exclusively made up of turbo graphics fans. Like that would be like the most unusual thing to exist. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. I forget.
Oh yeah, Rafael Becerra saying this game is so cute. The ending is heart. The ending, I do like the ending. It's very poignant.
How would I water that? Can I can't climb while carrying water, right? Or can I just
Right.
not climb
You
much?
can glide. You can glide though. Madonna Sheehy, are you still a dance instructor? My daughter's is done dance for several years, on and off. She's in hip hop dance.
There's like, I mean, like every little strip mall seems to have like a dance club thing.
Yeah,
I guess it's big.
yeah. Oh, not since the pandemic. Were you like a instructor and then the place closed down, or was it like something you're doing like kind of like on the Oh, okay. Performance trooping. That's cool.
There's a golden feather up there. Do you know how many golden feathers are in the game?
I don't. I think you have basically as many as I had when. But there's a character that has a bunch. You can buy a bunch from.
Right. The ranger at the shop said something about a boy bought all the others.
Yeah.
So you never found the flowers to bloom any of them?
Nope. I didn't do that.
Well, I mean, you must have seen them, but you didn't.
Oh yeah.
you
I didn't know how to do it though. I mean, I played it.
I mean,
for
there's
like,
a couple of signs. That was the second sign I've seen that explained how to do it. So they tried, but it's so open ended. I can see how you just might not see it.
But that's kind of what makes it so pleasant. Is like you don't feel like you need to do anything, but it's like
But you
going
want to.
into it not knowing anything. It's like, oh, like I wonder what I might find.
Yeah.
See, this is the guy right here that you can buy a bunch from.
Oh.
Hey kid, I'm a computer. Did you ever get around to watching Godzilla versus Kong?
Well, I have not seen it yet.
Oh.
I
should check it
saw.
out.
I've seen. That's the fourth movie in the new series, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the first three. But I want to watch it.
So
I liked the other movies.
my daughter had her first sleepover at a friend's house on Friday. So we had to keep my son like occupied, you know, like just hanging out. And we had like a crazy like windstorm here on Friday. It was like insane. Like my neighbor's tree, like it broke in half. Anyways, like he's like, I want to watch Godzilla versus Kong. Like he'd seen it already, but he just like really wanted to watch it again.
Yeah.
So we did. And my wife had never seen it, and she's just like, what is going on? She's like, now they're like in the center of the earth.
Wow.
It's like it's really cool. It's definitely the best, I think, out of all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, my wife had like not seen any of the other ones. She just like, man, like what is going on? Like what? Just completely lost the whole time. My kids are 8 and 10. Well, my daughter's gonna be 11 in May. So like 2.5, 3-ish years, I guess. But Godzilla vs. Kong is definitely solid. Did you see Skull Island? Kong Skull Island?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think you'll appreciate it. Like it's pretty cool.
Well, the fact that you think it's pretty cool kind of spoils who wins then. There's no way you'd say it's pretty cool if King Kong won. But don't say. But I feel like you've kind of already said.
I mean, it's if you think there's a winner, and you're mistaken. Like a clear winner, at least. It's good.
I liked the first one in the series quite a lot, though. I've only seen it the one time, but I thought it was... I liked how they like changed gears to the good guy Godzilla at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I like how they combined like kind of both modes of Godzilla in that movie. And like I remember both that one and King of the Monsters, like the final blow in both of those movies was like so over the top.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, where's the windstorm? Yeah, I mean, like northern Kentucky, we had like crazy wind. I mean, it sounded like there was like a hurricane. Like when I lived in New York and Hurricane Sandy hit, that's what it sounded like. It was so loud. It was crazy. They had some tornadoes like off to the east. But that's kind of like one of the best things about like where we live, like especially like the Cincinnati areas. There's not really like in the like around the city proper, like there's like a big valley for the river and stuff. It's just like there's not enough like flat land.
Oh, your feathers don't refill when you're in the snow.
Right, they freeze. So as you're climbing up, you'll find like a hot spring.
Yeah. I already saw that.
Heard winds are hitting a lot of places, even in Europe recently. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I feel like in the last month, I've gotten at least 5. My Alexa's given me 5, like there's a high wind advisory for Newport. I mean, generally, like we lost power a couple of times. We lost power, and it's funny. It was like at the very end of the movie, right? At the end of Godzilla versus Kong, and like the entire power goes out in the house, but I have my TV and certain stuff in my entertainment center are on a UPS.
Yeah.
Like all the hot power in the house goes out, but we're still like, my wife's like, how are we still watching this movie?
Oh, is your internet connected to the UPS too? Your
I mean,
modem?
Yes, yeah. Just like, well, I mean, like the thing that comes into the house has a plug that's connected to the UPS. Yeah.
So you don't have like a modem sitting around like I do.
Well, I have a router, but no, I don't. It just comes in. It's like the line comes in from the outside, and it's like the fiber line.
We ain't got that fancy Cincinnati internet,
There's $5 from Robert Hernandez. Thank you.
Oh.
Saying random question. Anyone know where I can get Super Famicom with audio buzz repaired? I have no idea where to start with this one.
Super Famicom with audio.
I mean, in our Discord, I'm not sure if he takes on like outside work, but I mean, there's this guy Fenris Wolf Retro. He might have a website. He's done a lot of stuff with Super Nintendos, but I'm not sure if he's like a for hire, or if he just does it for fun.
But before that, I would say try different audio cables. I mean, I don't know if you have tried different audio cables, but buzzy audio is 100% a thing that happens with bad audio cable or bad AV cables, bad SCART. If it's a cheap SCART cable, cheap S-video cable, not an official, or I have seen official composite cables go bad. If it's not an official cable and it's not a well shielded cable, audio buzz is absolutely a thing. I've never heard of a Super Famicom just having buzz, but it could be possible. But I would look at not just the AV cables, but also the power supply. There are a lot of bad third-party power supplies out there. So that would be my advice for look at what you are plugging into it before you worry about whether there actually is something going on with the system itself. Or wait, it's the same bear.
Okay. I just had to drink too much
What?
water.
What?
I just had to run to the bathroom.
Oh, I had no idea you were in the bathroom.
I
I
mean,
didn't know you were gone. I was so engrossed in my client.
yeah.
I don't know. My aunt told me that when Claire asked her aunt, you know, isn't climbing it dangerous? And she goes, not really. You'll be fine. I don't know. This looks dangerous. I like how there seems to be multiple approaches to climbing. I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of Breath of the Wild influence in this
Yeah.
game, for sure. It's very, very free form in how you can explore and stuff.
Dog Sport says, I was going to just buy this game on the eShop and forgot I already had it.
I guess I could climb that
That's
way.
good stuff.
It's a pleasant little thing. I mean, you know, it's actually pretty impressive how it has like all the tropes of like kind of like, well, it's like a mixture of like Breath of the Wild style exploration with like, you know, with like a late 90s platformer, except it's like it's like one giant like late 90s platformer level. And it like accomplishes all of that without any like combat.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much, you know, just as satisfying to explore the world even without that.
There was $5 from EB Chill 2. No message, just a donation. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I guess I'm basically at the top. You know what? I may as well while I'm up here, I may as well actually try to fish. I haven't fished except for that one little tutorial.
Is there anything in there?
A big white bass.
You know, I caught one of those too.
Ooh.
Oh, EB Chill 2 has a sore throat.
Mm. Oh, there's an aurora up here.
There it is.
That's an interesting cloud system they've got going on here. I wonder how they do it. It's like, you know, they do like evolve and change.
It's so funny. Like that's. I mean, I love the ending. It's basically like the whole point of the game is to be like, call your mom. If you're thinking about calling your mom, call your mom. Oh, EV Shell 2 said the super chat was empty because he has a sore throat.
Oh. Well, that's no fun though. Man, I had the worst sore throat imaginable when I had COVID. But luckily, it was mostly better after a day. But whew. I otherwise, like at that point, it was almost all over. But oof.
See, the ending is kind of like one of those feeling games.
One of them feeling games. Oh no, is there going to be an escape sequence?
Gaming Blow says, I'm glad the stream has remained relaxing. Coury and Try haven't morphed into YouTube personalities like so many people do. Is that something, does that happen like with this game in particular?
You mean, or I think just means
Just in general, but I mean,
we have not become,
people like make a big deal about this or something like that.
or just haven't, don't act like a stereotypical YouTuber, I guess. I don't know.
This game is not making us angry enough. We need to insult it more. What were they thinking making this?
Like this is almost kind of the kind of game that like I would almost consider like immune to criticism, because it's like if you're like complaining and nitpicking about things in this just jovial, pleasant little game, then it's like you're missing the point.
Yes. Oh, I was saying, just happens with streamers in general. They get more fake animated. You gotta like talk like this all the time. You know, like this penguin.
I
Is
wouldn't
it
be
penguin?
very
I don't know what
good.
it's supposed to be. Yeah, go back to your aunt. You could have titled this game titled this video "No Cell Phone Reception." This game for real?
I mean, you know, one time I went on a trip out west and I like went on total internet blackout. That may have even been before I even had a cell phone.
Really?
Or not before I had a cell phone, before I had a smartphone. I mean, I didn't get a smartphone until 2012. I was almost there, and now I'm turned around, and I don't know where my house was. Oh, here we go.
think I had like a BlackBerry before I had a smartphone, or before I had a iPhone. I think back on that BlackBerry and like, man, it like sucked. Okay, guys, I just downloaded this game to see if it's real. Okay, now here we go. We're flying, and here now everything is getting stuff, and this is a game, real game that is definitely real.
A money rock. Now you're just making stuff up. Just hard cut to the end.
Yeah. It's cute, right? It was good.
A pleasant little thing, wasn't it, Sandy? Oh, yes, pleasant little game. You didn't look ready to move.
You can load it back up too, and if you want to like explore the island more.
Continue collecting things. I mean, I don't know how on I don't know how on the Switch version you would know like what you were missing, because like I imagine like on like Xbox and PlayStation, assuming it's on there, I would assume like you know you can look at your trophy list to have a good idea if you've done everything.
But that's like kind of
like I don't know, but like it's very low pressure. It's like it doesn't want you to do more than you feel like doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is refreshing. But anyway,
you should pick something off your shelf that you have never played before.
Never played before.
Yeah, maybe grab like 1 or 2 games that you've never played before.
Okay.
Right,
I'll go look for something I never played before. Sandy's on my lap being lazy though. Sandy, I need to go pick a game I've never played before. Can you wait here? No? You gonna go too? Okay. Let's see what we've never played.
If I can be a sequel to this game called A Long Walk. I think that's that would a long walk.
That would defeat the point.
Off a short pier. But I like the idea of like, you know, it's called a short hike, but it's really it can be short if you want it to be. But it can be longer. Did you You're upstairs. I wonder if he beat the tourist. I've noticed there's been a lot of people like streaming videos and stuff, streaming video in like live streaming in the Discord lately. I meant to stop in last night, but I passed out. But it seems like almost every night there's been people like just hosting little streams in there. There's $10 from Captain Swag 101 saying the game has mostly cured my migraine. Definitely not the medication I took 2 hours ago. But for real, this is very relaxing. glad I could be here. And now just have to prepare for midterms. Well, good luck. Good luck with that. I'm glad that that you're feeling a lot better. Maybe just get a good night's sleep and get to it tomorrow. I can't imagine being I just got over this this migraine. I got to study now. Where's the blood? Are you just kind of going through some of the early podcasts? Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of people have been streaming. That's cool. I was thinking about doing more just streams in there too. I have things set up here where I could technically do a multicam thing where I can switch between angles. I've thought about testing that out. Current favorite game? Just I don't know. I have no idea what my current favorite game, of all time, or just the game that I'm currently is my favorite game that I'm.
Oh, did you? I didn't see that $10 super chat. Did you?
Yes. Yep. There's $5 also following up on that from Captain.
Oh.
Saying I think it was the impetus for some of those Discord gaming streams. It's been a great excuse to get to know the folks. And they're better and just chat. Yeah, I know. I think it's so cool. I'm really glad that people are doing that more and more. I don't know, Drew, have you seen some of the people on our Discord have been doing streaming videos? I've been in the streaming channels. This definitely has a composite filter that you
I wasn't I thought the screenshots gave me more of a GBC vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't actually expecting, but it's does it look okay on the stream? If it is, I'll leave it on.
Yeah, what does it look like without it?
It's just, let me get up close. Oh, it is not integer scaled and does not have interpolation without the filter, so I'd say we should probably use the filter.
Okay. Was there no patch for it?
Looks like no, just version 1.
Oh, is the E3 video that we made with John, is that even out? Or is that posted up on the on their Discord or to their retro subscribers?
Yeah, if it's out, I wasn't aware it was out yet.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I was actually shocked that the Zelda Doom video went up when it did because it went out just a few days after I finished it.
Okay, so it's just up for Patreon right now. That's cool. I'm glad that people are getting to do that. I'm still waiting on this game.
Oh, really? What did you order?
I ordered it with Broforce, and I ordered this on the 4th of July, 2021, and I haven't got it yet.
This composite filter is pretty fun, though. It actually, although it looks like there's a subtle interlacing jitter, which seems
Going Soft did this,
which seems inaccurate, but otherwise it looks pretty good. But that interlacing thing seems a bit wrong.
Doing Soft made Gato Roboto.
Wait, do I play both characters?
I don't know.
Oh, did they?
I want to see this video. Let's see what people are saying about it.
Those demons stole my chalices.
That demon kissed my wife. Or something.
I love the compression on their voices. It's pretty good.
Never belong to evil. Let's throttle.
So I know very little about this. Oh, she's got a spreadsheet.
Oh, it almost looks like.
It makes me think of King's Knight.
Yeah, yeah. That looked like a space harrier dragon almost.
So X changes characters.
I mean, this looks like really fun.
Well, people have been telling us to stream it,
Yeah, yeah.
so maybe it should.
It should probably be its own game at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it seems like a game that Drum and I should play since it's got. I think you can have. I assume you can move both characters simultaneously.
Yeah.
Because when it's just showed one player, it had both characters highlighted, so I could just switch between them.
Yeah. This game is physical only, but it's pretty easy to get. You can get it like on Amazon, Best Buy, and stuff. I mean, I think at one point it's like only $20 or something.
Does the composite filter like translate pretty well on the stream? It doesn't like have like a.
It looks okay.
Like a weird like scaling artifacts. See, I feel like the aspect ratio makes this look more like Game Boy Color than NES, which is why I find the CRT filter surprising. But it's
Right.
it's a pretty fun filter. It's not terrible. The interlacing is odd. I think overall I prefer the spread shot. I don't quite see the advantage. I mean, the other guy could shoot faster, but spread shot means you don't have to be you don't have to be in the enemy's line of fire. Slaney, what are you doing? Oh, I think one of those mayfly type things or whatever you call them are in here. What in tarnation? It looks like the damage is extremely variable. Like, look how those numbers are. Like, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 50 something.
EB Chill, is there like any way to? I wonder where I find the link to like the E3 video. I just want to see what comments are. Did it just go up today?
Sure, what button is oh, there it goes. Yes.
I mean, I'm just trying to find the. I'm surprised it's not like on there.
That missile hangs out for a while.
It's something like that.
Oh, and each character has their own bombs.
Oh. Oh, and you can jump too.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah, it's quite good. Gotta admit.
Looks like
Man, this guy has a lot of life for
first boss.
first boss. Yeah.
Dustin in the chat saying, I just got my internet back in my house after storm damage took out our fiber for a few days, and the first thing I did
There's
was
sticks of
eat
dynamite. It's funny.
I'm glad you got the your power back. And you can stay home tomorrow.
Oops.
I'm not seeing EB Chill, but I'll look. I can ask John for it tomorrow.
Well, that's pretty cool. I look forward to playing that more.
First boss. I mean,
the,
that's like
the other game I pulled off the shelf. This is probably a terrible pick for booting up quickly on a stream, but like I know extraordinarily little about this, so I just thought I'd pop it in.
okay. Hey, did you beat the tourist?
No, so I started it when I was off on a freelance trip in December.
Right.
And I started it in the hotel one night, and then I put my Switch into my camera bag, and then I left my camera bag intentionally at the shooting location and forgot my Switch was in it. So I couldn't play it the next night of the trip, and then when I got home, I just never got back to it. So I feel like I'll probably restart
You're
it.
turning
'Cause
into me.
I was only like an hour into it, maybe.
You've become me, and I become you.
Yeah. This year, like, me this year was you last year, and you
Yes.
this year is like, you've been chewing through games like crazy.
You know, for next year's end of year script, I already have 2 pages written.
Oh, whoops! I accidentally put the tourist in.
Okay.
Because, well, the game has been just like sitting sitting over here, like just in case I put it back in to get back to finishing it, and I accidentally put it in.
Oh, I didn't realize that Scream 6 comes out this week. Man, that's a quick turnaround from like the last.
Look at this! There is an update. I have the Japanese version of this.
Yes, that's what I have too.
FYI.
It's good. It's got good music. I mean,
Have you played through it?
No, I just played the intro until like the first.
Is this at all a decent choice for a game
I don't know.
I've never booted? Like, can I even
It's
get
got
to?
really good music, and that's like what I remember.
Can I even
And you
get
know
to
what?
anything
Like,
that's interesting?
I can't hate on any game developed by a developer named Chucklefish.
Chucklefish.
But from what I understand, isn't Nev Campbell not in Scream 6, which seems like
Oh, are they working on that?
it's out like in a week.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
that
Did you
doesn't
see the
sound
last
like a
one? Did you see
Scream
5? I didn't see
movie
5
at
either.
all.
Did you see 5?
I did.
I didn't see it.
It was good.
Yeah, and this is the same people.
It was really good.
It seems like a real disappointment that she's not going to be in it. But maybe they're just keeping it secret, but probably not.
That's what I was wondering. I did hear her say like she was done with the series, but I had no idea it was like almost coming out. Look at that chucklefish.
And they better not make if she is in it and she ends up being the killer, that would be like a huge disappointment.
I mean, but that's with Scream, you never know.
I know, but I feel like that is the one bridge that like they cannot cross. It feels like it would undo everything that came before.
Well, then what if the next movie revealed though that the movie in which she was the killer was just a movie?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean that I feel like that is the one thing that they know that they cannot do.
You know what made me laugh? Drum and I have been finally catching up on the X-Men movies recently, and I was like, looking stuff up after watching a few of them. And the lady that plays Rogue is in one of the Stab movies in the Scream movies.
Yeah. So,
which I thought was funny.
I have to admit that like I can't believe you're just like watching them all. Like, just like watch 1, 2, and Days of Future Past. That's like all you need to watch. Those are real. I mean, I guess like the Wolverine solo movies, like Logan is really good.
I mean, honestly, like we didn't like I mean, it could have partially been an expectations thing, but like the first the X-Men Origins Wolverine, like the first standalone Wolverine movie, like. It was dumb, but we thought it was kind of fun.
Well,
like,
when you're done,
we didn't hate it.
Are you gonna watch? You gonna watch the Deadpool movies then after?
Yeah, we're going. We're playing too.
Because there's a lot of fun to be had.
That surprised me. That he was in it, and it was the same actor that's him in like the standalone movies, because that was so many years before they started making the standalone movies.
Well,
like,
like the character was established already at that point. And people are like, "Why did you do that to this character that people liked?"
Well, I mean, what was so weird about was like, I'm under the impression that what's his name, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
like I'm under the impression that he's like considered like more of like a comedic-ish actor,
right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Which it surprises me that because within the context of that X-Men Origins movie, he seems like a weird choice to play that character in that movie.
And barely like do anything with them.
Right. Like he just seems like the wrong person for that role. But then I guess it makes sense. Like, I mean, not that I've seen the Deadpool movies, not that I really even know much of anything about how he is in any other movies, but like, I guess it makes sense if they were like planning to cast him as Deadpool years later, but it's like a good number of years until the first Deadpool movie.
The Deadpool movies like basically got made because like he and the director of the Deadpool like made a short film saying like, "Hey, this is what we could do if you just like let us actually make the movie for real." And like, that got their attention. And then they made it into like a full-length movie.
I see.
Because he's like, like I'm a good choice for this character, but like if you're not gonna like, here's how we would do it if we could do it right.
But I mean, Drum and I are pros at sitting through bad movies because we commit to stuff. We have committed to a lot of horror series, which means we've watched a lot of bad movies.
But there's like just like a lot of.
But like,
I mean, so what's like the most recent? Have you watched Days of Future Past yet?
That's next.
Okay. I mean, I think that like X2 and Days of Future Past are like the two best ones.
I mean, that's the impression I've gotten. I mean, I had seen, well, both of us had seen 1, 2, and 3 back in the day, but it'd been a long time. Honestly, like the first movie held up better than I thought it would, aside from the fact that Magneto's plan is like really, really stupid.
In which one?
The first one.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like his plan is super stupid, but other than that, the movie's pretty fun.
That was like the first Marvel movie to like kind of take it seriously. Like I think because that was pre Spider-Man 1 also.
Yeah.
But
honestly, like nothing's been that bad.
Second is like enormous.
Huh?
The jump in quality from the first X-Men to the second one is enormous.
For sure.
So First Class is good also. Have you watched First Class?
We watched that and The Wolverine.
Okay.
And so next we're watching.
Yeah, Blade did come first before that too.
Huh?
I always forget that Blade came out before the first X-Men also. By like 2 years, I think. First X-Men was 1999.
Oh look, I'm walking around as a character that's not the character on the box. I look like Joel from The Last of Us.
A little bit. I mean, I feel like the character is very similar to Mother 3.
I mean, it's very obvious that's the inspiration. Although it's different from that too. But it's clear that's the inspiration.
You're not cooking. Yeah, dude. That's like 2 G.I. Joe jokes tonight. Like those the dubbed G.I. Joe.
I forgot all about those. I'd only seen I might have seen 1 or 2 of them like a long time ago. And like I was I kind of rediscovered it on accident a month or 2 ago. And so when I heard you earlier say, I'm a computer, I knew what you were talking about.
Hey kid. Yeah, see, Dorian just like knows the pork chop sandwiches. Like the pork chop sandwich is like not the part that I laugh. I just like laugh at the "You're not cooking." Yeah, dude. I say that a lot. You're not cooking. Yeah, dude. And the other one I like is like the body massage one, but it's not even like who wants a body massage. Like it's not. That's not the funny part to me. It's when they see the live wire on the street and they say, "Let's launch over it." Where they want to jump over it with their bikes. Let's launch over it.
Like I don't even know what like the context of like, hey kid, I'm a computer, like in what context does that even make sense?
So high when they made those. They had to be so high when they made those.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's another one that doesn't get mentioned very much, but like is it like Lady J is like, looking for a purse. She's like, I just like, have you guys seen a purse that's pink? It's got like I want to say something. I just really want my cigarettes.
I haven't seen that one. So is this like Earthbound but the slums of Midgar?
Yeah, and so it's a mishmash.
I mean, I didn't expect to like get to anything, but I just wanted to see what the game looked like in motion. It looks pretty nice. I actually am not sure I was expecting pixel art because the character art on the box has like such a
I'm
like
sure
a,
that you probably play as this
a
character
very
for a little
specific
bit.
style, huh?
Maybe you'll play as this character for a little bit and then switch.
Yeah, I'm assuming so, but I'm just saying like I wasn't really expecting pixel art because like the art style on the box seems very distinct, so I thought it was going to look more like that. Like I didn't even really look into it. Like people were saying this game's really good, so I was like, oh okay, I'll buy it. I like to go into games blind, to the extent I can, you know.
Yeah. You know, it was on like similar to this game was on my list originally for games to play this year was Moon. I ended up just swapping. I think I swapped it out for Captain Toad. Did we talk about Captain Toad at all? Like during the?
No, I mean I know that you beat it, but you didn't talk.
You know what I liked about it?
Yeah.
And like, tell me if like this is kind of what I wrote in the year-end script about it, where it feels very similar in spirit to a black box NES game.
I could see that.
You know, it's just like it does like one thing like really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really try to be any more than
that needs to be.
Like,
I mean, it's a much expanded version of those mini games that were in Mario 3D World.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, but I mean, it just feels like has the same feel that like a NES era.
It
black
doesn't
box.
do anything like it. Yeah, it has very simple mechanics, and it does that really well.
Yeah, it's just nice in that way.
I 100%ed the Wii U version.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's all those extra Mario Odyssey levels in the Switch version. Shadow Mask has been a member for 22 months, saying,
"Whoa!
If you've never had a pork chop sandwich, you haven't lived a full life."
Oh, I mean, I love pork chops and I love sandwiches, although I don't necessarily have them together that often, but I have.
Yeah.
Pork chops, man, though. I've said before, kind of like pork chops more than steak.
I guess. I mean, and I'm not a pork chop hater, but I'm easily going to choose one over the other. There isn't currently a PSVR 2 stream planned because neither of us have it.
Say what?
King Bill, the 26th, was asking if there was going to be a PSVR 2 stream.
I mean, probably someday. I fully intend to get one. I just don't have one now because I'm just waiting for there to be more games, preferably physical games.
Yeah. Yeah, Moon was on my list though. I was gonna play that, but I was like maybe I'll still get around to it. I don't know. Like I'm basically halfway through my list.
That's
right
insane. Well, technically, I did. I am not behind because I did beat Mega Man 11 on Monday. Which actually went a lot more smoothly than I expected.
Yeah. Like once you kind of got the feel for it.
Well, because I only beat 6 Robot Masters the first stream, but then by the time the stream was only half or so over, I was done for the second stream.
Would you like to see the series continue in that style?
Absolutely.
So you liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought the powers themselves were probably on the whole the most interesting in the series. They were just in general almost, there were a few Acid Man wasn't that great. But you know, I thought generally they were pretty fun to use, especially like Bounce Man's powers and Fuse Man's powers. They're pretty good. Where am I supposed to go? I've been paying like almost no attention to what people are saying. This is why we don't play RPGs on stream.
Yeah.
Often,
You have something else
anyway.
you could just pop in or no?
Huh?
You have it. You just grab the 2, right?
I just grabbed the 2.
All right.
I was hoping to at least see what
This is
combat
exactly
looked
as far as I
like,
played.
but I can't.
I think it's probably a games we haven't booted stream in our near future.
I mean, I've taken care of a good bit of that as it is. But I've not been paying attention, so I don't really know where I'm supposed to be going.
I mean, this is as far as I got.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see enemies. Like, is it real time? Is it?
I assume that it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, it makes it look like it's real time.
Oh, Dustin beat Metroid Dread tonight. I think you said you got 100%, right? Really pleased with the final boss. I mean, it was tough, but it's like learnable and not annoying, you know?
Oh yeah. The final boss was it took a bunch of tries, but like it really forced you to get good at that fight, and it was very satisfying once you got good at it. Okay, here's slugs. Oh, here we go. Okay. Can I break? Oh, okay. I move these boxes. So you can do like a charge attack, and you can like freely aim in a circle around you. So that feels pretty good.
see that vest. I feel like I should get a vest like that.
A desk like what?
A vest, like his vest, just like a winter vest, like a sleeveless.
It looks like he's wearing some kind of life preserver.
Doesn't he? He kind of looks like Nop Top a little bit, doesn't he?
He does look like Nop Top, doesn't he? He totally looks like Nop Top.
He has a vest like that too.
Yes. He 100% looks like Nop Top. Okay, well that's probably enough. I just wanted to see what this game looked like in motion, but now I have an idea of what it's like. I'll look forward to playing that someday.
So what did you say? What the next game on your list is going to be? You think? Now that you beat Mega Man?
I mean, I'm going to be so focused on Analog Frontiers Part 4 and other stuff I got to do.
Right. I mean, just like
and so I'm like, I don't like, I don't want to pick anything like really big that I'm going to like want to get really absorbed in, because
right.
like I just need to like accept that like March is just going to be work, and I just need to do it. But I still need to have a little something to play for an hour or two in the evening.
Right.
So after I finish Kirby's Return to Dreamland, honestly, I'm leaning towards Viva Pinata, but we'll see. I'm leaning towards. I mean, you know, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about how I'm going to feel about it. I am. I don't know what I'm going.
Just go into it, say like, you know what? No matter what this game is like, I'm gonna give it like everything that I have.
Yeah, but
I'm
you know,
just gonna
here's the other thing.
totally accept it for
Really,
what
I should have put both Viva Pinata games on there, just like I put both Lunar games on there, because I feel like I have to play both, because I feel like I can't do the video unless I do both. And of course, I know there's also like a DS game and stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Don't
I mean,
mess
I don't
with
even
it.
have that. So.
Don't.
But it
don't.
probably should be acknowledged in the video, but
Yeah.
in the
Well, now
Rare After Nintendo video.
I've since now I like randomly finished Last of Us. I'm like halfway through Crisis Core, and I'm thinking like maybe I'll just finish that. It's like my next priority, and then I think
I
think
was
can play-
like at the beginning of the year, I was trying to clear out a lot of now playing stuff, like stuff that I was close to finish. Like I finished Quake, finished a couple of other things. I really wanted to like, you know, play one of the, well, other than Returnal, I wanted to play like another like big, like Sony first party game that I
yeah.
hadn't done yet, like either God of War Ragnarok or Horizon 2 or something. But I feel like I'll have to push that out a little further, because I definitely need to focus on, when I can, some of my pledges. But you know, most of them shouldn't be that crazy. Definitely looking forward to Lunar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm still confident I can make it. I'm technically not behind schedule, because there's 10 months left, including this month, and I've beaten one game.
Yes.
So I've beaten one of 10. There's 10 months left, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them
I'm
are
actually-
short.
I'm definitely saving I'm saving The Witcher for last, because that's going to be like the longest one. And like everything else that I have is like under 20 hours.
Yeah, I've got some more mid-length things like Nier Automata, which could be, you know, who knows how many times I'm going to feel I need to play through that, you know? For endings, although I'm sure it goes quicker for subsequent endings. I'm sure there's like things that carry over, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but it's not like it just expands upon the story like in cool ways, and there's like different characters. Like it's more significant than what you saw in Replicant, and it's a great game.
All right. Well,
Yeah, you don't really play it multiple times. It just you get like credits when certain things happen.
I see. All right.
Anyways, thanks to everybody who donated tonight, and I hope everyone has a great week.
And
I should get that video out to all of you. The Ambernick video should be out this week.
nice.
It's definitely a more casual video, but it's gonna, you know, it is what it is. Please go easy on me if it's like not up to your preferences.
I think it'll be just fine. All right.
All right, take care, everybody.
Good night.